right.
Welcome to The Collective, where every conversation ignites a new perspective. Join us as we delve into the journeys of remarkable individuals, explore the art of growth, resilience, and the power of a shared mission as we strive to be better together. Hey everybody, welcome back to The Gold Mine. We have another fantastic show for you today. Very excited, just Shaun and I. We're going to be chatting, and I love these moments where we can get hang out. But as I love them, you should too. Like the show, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, do all the good stuff, get your emails when we go live, which of course, Wednesdays for The Gold Mine and Fridays for The Collective. Other than that, if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, anything at all, put them in the comment section. We can hit those throughout the show. And today, especially, by all means, jump in and join the conversation. And if you have not yet, make sure you are online with the Reinforcement Loop. That is our weekly newsletter. It goes out every Sunday. Gives you a little rundown of what we were talking about, but also some brain candy to chew on, which I love. I'm quite enjoying. Other than that, Shaun, how's life out in those mountains?
Yeah, things are good. Speaking of newsletter, so, I put up the Tiger Stripe e-zine, which I can't think of a better name for it right now, so that's just going to stick for a little while. And never thought I'd be making e-zines, hey, in my 60s.
It's a little.
Who saw that?
Yeah.
But the newsletter, what I haven't done this week is I haven't really pushed it. And by push it, I mean, like, I'm not trying to make everyone read it. I like to drop a little bit of my own brain candy into my own posts because I'm lazy like that. Like I don't have to do any writing. I just steal my own thoughts from the newsletter and then drop it into maybe today's post. Who knows? Mm-hmm. And so, I think good writing shouldn't just be in a newsletter. Got to share it around a little bit. So, yeah.
I like it. I
haven't done it this week, though. I haven't shared.
There's a number of things that we haven't quite shared yet, but there's also a level of personal responsibility, I think, for the people out there. They should be checking in on these things if they really want it.
I know. I'm trying to figure out the right balance, though,
Yeah, it's tricky.
Go read it, but since you're not reading it, I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to force feed it to you in a video.
Piece by piece is what you got to do. I love that. Now, one of the interesting things I've noticed about the not just the e-zine, but the newsletter, the posts, the photo contests, stuff like that, is that we have to push these things pretty hard to get people really involved, except for Dan C. Dan C's in here right away. Good morning, gentlemen.
That is true.
The captain has turned off the ass kicking sign. Please feel free to move about the cabin and kick ass. You're getting pretty creative with these ones.
I like it. He's in the game.
He's in the game.
So he can become more creative over the years to follow, whatever. So now, 3 years from now, he's mega creative. Mm-hmm. It don't matter to me. Like, what he just put, it's just in the game. 3 years from now, it might be better, might be worse, whatever. I don't care. It's in the game. In the game. I don't even care if it, sucks. If you're in the game, I love it. I'll overlook how bad it sucks because you're in the game. In time, it'll get better, but you're in the game,
Yeah. The funny thing is the way you say that, back in the day, even now, they used to put out video games for sports games, hockey and baseball and football and all these things. And it was made by EA Sports. And their tagline was EA Sports. It's in the game.
Oh,
and
right.
So I've heard that he's in the game. It's in the game. So many times over the years through not being in the game, but playing the game.
The irony.
The irony. I love it though. Oh, so I do want to talk about the photo contest.
Hang on a sec. Sorry. I don't want to bypass. I don't want to
No, I got no plan, man. Hit it.
He's in the game. And I didn't want to it's not like a glib statement I'm throwing out there in the game. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that he's in the game. I don't want to build it out into a soliloquy, but man, I dig that he's in the game.
I dig it as well. One of the nice parts about the comments especially is they keep us at least honest enough, not just sit there and
they keep you honest.
They keep me honest.
You love the comments. I'm not going to say I don't love the comments.
Yeah.
I just don't engage in the comments during the chat because, as you know, and maybe no one really knows this now because it's been quite a while since I said it, but when we first kicked off and we started taking, we're live, and then the comments were starting to come in from viewers, etc. I just found it too distracting. And so I don't see the chats come in. I don't see any of that. I don't want to see it because you handle it perfectly. And I just get to focus on whatever the heck I'm focusing on at the time, my little squirrel brain, and you stick handle that. And so I found it a bit distracting because it's not really my role per se.
It can be distracting, that's for sure. Some people make some
I
great
see.
points.
Oh, you do get distracted from time to time by them.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, but that's part of the game. That's part of
is.
my game.
Yeah,
is
it
that
is.
I got to learn how to play that back and forth.
But you play well. I'm not saying that you don't.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, that's your game, not my game.
Exactly. Yeah. And to that point, Dancy, so far in the game, I just took a piece of maple in the head at 1300 RPM, tried taking another picture. Nice. Nice. I'm looking
Good
forward to
speed.
these. Speed. Interestingly enough, I had a thought on that. I was walking down the street and I saw this great image of the leaves changing, but
yeah.
it was in successive trees. So
Nice, that's a good one.
one was dark and the next one was
that's a
yellow,
good
next one was green. And I was thinking about speed along the way of just like the fact that it's a slow speed. Nobody ever said anything had to be fast speed, but it's still speed. A speed, I guess.
Evolution. I mean, really, depending on how you want to scale out that timeline, it could be a seasonal speed. It could be an evolutionary speed. If a person was to sit there long enough, like 1,000 years, they would see genetic shift. That you'd see the speed of DNA changing to some degree. So yeah, speed.
Speed. It's a nice part. Well, have you noticed anything out in the world where you've been like, ooh, that would like great shot for speed so far? Because we started, the
have.
weekend?
Yeah, I mean all the time. And the moment that someone says, "Hey, have you seen a blue Honda today?" I'll see them all. And so it's just the way my brain's wired. Oh, you put me on task? Great, I'm on task. So I've seen tons of speed things. Like this morning, just before I came into this, in fact, as we speak right now, my phone is processing the footage, the super slow mode that I shot on the heavy bag. And because it's like really dense data, 240 frames per second is like really big bandwidth. It's humongous, actually. And that's what's allowing me to cherry pick all of the sweet mega details out of the video footage that I'm doing. Anyway, I was doing a jumping, spinning back kick on the heavy bag.
Those are not easy.
And they are not easy. They are not easy, and as you know. And so because they're so difficult, it tends to exacerbate the flaws in your technique at 240 frames per second. And to make matters worse, what I'd done is, and you'll see it in the video when I put it up later today, I've got my back right up against my back leg, actually my right glute, right up against the bookshelf behind me down the basement. And then I've got the bag like within arm's distance. So I'm like super compressed, like I'm in a telephone booth distance, you know what I mean? And so basically I've got to like step forward with my left foot just a touch. And I mean by a touch, I mean just a couple, 3 inches sort of thing, because I'm in the telephone booth. And then I've got to pop almost straight up, but just a little bit of forward lead, just enough to get some forward momentum. So I'm up and forward a touch as I'm spinning in the air and then shooting out that foot. And like, I don't know, I probably filmed 20 spinning back kicks, jumping spinning back kicks. And they were all pretty good. But I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do a blooper reel with it, because there's about 3 that I've seen. And like, I'm up in the air and it's all good. What I do is as I shoot my foot out, I clip the edge of the bag. So you'll see it hit the side of the bag and skim off. But what it does show is like the beautiful heel penetration. And so like to some degree it's a blooper, but to another eye, it'll be like, oh, I see what's going on. I missed that detail.
Yeah.
In the blooper, I wasn't seeing a detail. So I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to spin it, No pun intended.
I like that. I mean, and you could actually, it's a good pun, but you could play with it a little bit, especially with the slow motion, and be able to like hit different points. And I'm just picturing like, the little chalkboard effect of like, look right here. This is what's
with
happening.
arrows and stuff. I thought about it.
Give
But,
that-
I could do that. I considered doing it some time ago, but the reason I haven't, or the reason I'm hesitant anyway, I'm not going to say I won't, is because I don't really want to be an instructor out on the interwebs. Like there's a bunch of chads out there who think they're all large and in charge and swinging their hands and feet around and their sticks and their knives and their billy clubs and all of the things. And they think that they're like super troopers. And I see all kinds of flaws in their technique and I see all kinds of flaws in their thinking. But they're out there pretending to be Mr. Internet instructor. And I don't want to be that. What I do want to do is do what I do. And then you can figure it out. If you're watching it, you can pay attention and learn, or not, whatever, man. You can laugh or you can frown. It's no concern to me. I'm going to do what I do today, tomorrow, and the following day. So I'm always going to do what I'm going to do. But it's for the observer to pick up what I'm putting down rather than me turning into Coachy McCoach.
Well, then you can go the fully other way and
Hang on
put
a second. What do you think? Am I doing it wrong, or do you think I'm holding too strong of a position there?
I like instruction. I like to be able to look at something and go, oh neat. Okay, I see where he's going with this, and be able to pick it apart. But that's me.
Right.
So like, I was joking around today actually on the mats, and we had a new guy in, and I was like, we started joking around and so on and so forth, and I eventually came up with like, my wife hit me with this yesterday, was the fact that I was sitting in front of some friends, I had my phone out, and I went, nice. And everyone was like, what?
I do it all the time myself.
This Uchimata was beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so my wife jokes around, she's like, I never have to worry about you in jiu-jitsu. Just 'cause you're always, that's what you're looking at. And but I think that's what I dig. I find those things helpful and useful, of like, you see where the heel turned in here, or the toe came down, or the way my hip extended when I did that move. I like adding those to my repertoire, but again, I'm looking for those details. So there's going to be some people out there that are going to look at that and be, well, this guy thinks he's Mr. Coachy McCoach on the internet, right? And then they don't know you from
I don't need the
Adam,
aggro.
Yeah.
I don't need the aggro. I don't need like some goofball out there like taking offense because I'm just trying to be helpful. You know, I'm not sending anyone an invoice. It's not like anyone's got to pay me.
Yeah.
I used to charge for these kind of things, and I'm not. And so, like, to me, it's just free, not maybe good advice, but it's free advice that will make you think about how you're doing things physically. And so,
Yes.
you know,
This is what I'm thinking. You go the other way and start doing like filters of Dragon Ball Z and stuff, and just like launching fireballs at your feet, and like take it the other way, make it entertainment.
that is true.
You could do this all kinds of ways and be fun. But one of the things that I really love, that I seek, is through being, a martial artist. Is I want to know more about your style. I want to know more about your style, and that's
I love, because I do love martial arts, and I love anyone who loves martial arts. And so, if anyone is just loving on the art, the aesthetic, the style, the whatever, the technical, the skillful, the timeline, whatever. If someone's loving on it, man, you're speaking my language. But if someone's just like watching to cherry pick out the gonna be a goof comment, I'm just not into it. I don't need it in my life. Podcasting is already hard enough. Never mind, like, put my content up trying to be something that I don't want to be. I don't want to be an instructor anymore.
That's okay. You don't have to be an instructor. That's the beautiful part about it. And I think at least what I gain from your posts is, to what you said, things to think about.
Yeah.
Like, are you fast? How do you know? When was the last time you checked it? What is or interesting enough, I was at the physio, and he's a buddy of mine, and he came over with the grip strength thing, and he was just like, here, man,
yeah. That's
do
been
this.
going around the web for the last month or two. I like it. These kind of things are great.
Yeah.
How'd you make
and
out?
that's nice, because now you know. Do you have a straw?
So you do know. So how did you make out?
141.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's solid.
That's a good,
I've seen
nice
some
solid grip. I'm
burly
pretty happy.
dudes like, all the Marines, all of the things, you know, Captain America, whatever. That's a good number.
Yeah. I don't let go of geese.
Yeah, no, it's a good number. No joke.
I was telling this to my students actually a couple days ago, was the fact that I view jujitsu, especially anytime I grip something, that it's no longer theirs. Like it is mine now. And so I grip with that level of tenacity. And then either I choose to let them have it back or I don't.
I used to do the exact same thing and I took it on as almost like an ignorant point of pride. And by that, I mean like a point of pride that I was being so stubbornly dogmatic about that it was now an ignorant hold.
Yes.
I was just being dumb. And
Yeah.
so,
I did that
like,
for a while too.
if I hang on, like, with intent, it's rare that someone's going to break my grip, but it is so hard on your joints, on your
Yes.
knuckles, on your
Yes.
fingers.
Yes.
And all of them have been broken and fractured over the years. And so, like, and I do have, and I don't complain about it too much, and I'm not complaining now, but I have like this finger, this finger, this finger, and this finger. They've all got arthritis, like they're all swollen. And like, if I just touch this really sensitively, it hurts.
Yes.
And so, all of these joints now, I'm paying the piper is what I'm doing, and and so
As
like
we must.
as all of us will,
Yeah.
and so my days of gripping a gi super hard, and I'm not even talking about my bonkified thumbs
Yeah,
from
you
my
guys-
Skyhawks
you're all jacked
wipeout.
up.
So
Yeah.
like whatever. So, but I did used to hang on like a
Yeah.
dog on a bone, and it was just torching my hands. So now like, and I don't do much gi work because of it, but when I grab onto something, I'm like, I'm Mr.
Soft.
Piano Player, baby.
Nice.
Unless I'm playing the mess with their mind game, then I'm gonna like lock
that's
up,
all.
and then they're gonna do their nonsense and whatever, and I'm gonna play the different game. So
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, that's the fun part. I've been finding tape helpful quite a bit. And
but that
it just slows the process. I understand.
Yeah, I mean, actually, once every session I was taping my fingers, I was like, hang on a sec. Why do I have to tape my fingers? Oh, because I'm holding on like a lunatic and injuring my joints? I think I'll stop taping my fingers.
Yes. I quite enjoy the I choose to tape my fingers. I don't have
I
to,
hear
and I've
ya.
done it, and that's
Dude, I
I
get it.
I recognize the choice that's made there too, because I know people that tape up their fingers without thinking about it, and they just do it because they think they have to.
Well, the other aspect to it, and I suspect you do this partially for this reason as well. I mean, I did it, and I think everyone does if they really take time to consider it. But it's prep for battle, man.
Yeah.
It is. Mm-hmm. I mean, you put on your gi, and you're
Put your
like,
kit
you're
on,
already
yeah.
getting in the game. And then you're taping up your fingers. You're like, oh, you're gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm gonna get it. We're all gonna get it. And then it's like the mouthpiece goes, and it's like go time. And so, I'm not saying everyone's got to prep for battle like they're about to stab their friend in the neck, but it is part of the process. You're putting on your armor,
Yes, 100%. It feels like that too. And I remember gloves were always one of the last things that went on. Like all the kit came on, and then the gloves were kind of last. Press check, okay, and off we go. So the hands are a big part of that, being able to tape your fingers, and that's I do.
But I
quite enjoy that.
recognize that pattern in myself. And so then I broke it. Like, as I said, I stopped taping, I stopped doing all the things. And like I'd walk into the club, drop my bag down, do one of these, and then walk straight onto the mat and start scrapping. Like no warm up, no priming, no tape, no nothing. Sometimes no mouthpiece. Just like remove
test
all
it.
of the minutia, remove all of the white noise, the static, the setup, the thing. I believe, as I've said in my videos, as I did yesterday, I think I called it literally 250-pound opponent one and done.
Mm-hmm.
And so that doesn't mean that I can walk up on any 250-pound dude in the world and like blast him with one kick and walk away like I just won the Olympic
Cool dudes don't look at
whatever.
explosions.
Yeah, like this isn't a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
So all I was saying is that that's my one and done day. So I'll go down in the basement. I'll put my coffee mug down or whatever. I'll set up the camera. I'll walk over. Sometimes I'll take my glasses off. Sometimes I won't. And I'll fire off one shot. And whatever it does, if it's super lame, that's my one and done. If it's mega, that's my one and done. And so I get one chance and like I suck it up if it sucks. And that's what I put up on the Instawebs that day. And so I think one and doners are super important. I believe, as I have done pretty much all my life, you should be able to roll off the couch and blast someone's skull into the stratosphere in 0.5 seconds without a warm up.
Yeah.
I mean, you should just be able to go now without all the rabbit's foots.
It takes, I think we need to explore both of those, though, and in all things, right?
Well, you do. But only one's being explored right now, you know?
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as you're aware that you're doing it, then the exploration
What I'm
is
saying
valid.
is, I don't think
Absolutely.
people are.
I agree. There's lots of people
And
out there
that's
that
why I
have no
raise
idea.
it.
Yeah.
You know, like no one has to do what I do. I'm just saying the reason that I do it is because I know that if I hear a weird noise in the middle of the night and I open my eyes and there's some clown standing next to the bed in the dark, he's going to get it. He is unaware of what he's going to get. He's going to get full Shaun. And that will suck, man, because like
Never
in a
go full
split
Shaun.
second, that situation will change. And I know why it'll change because it's how I train. It's what I do. It's how I think. I don't need warm-ups. I don't need a Rodney Dangerfield sort of sequence of events up on a diving board before I dive. I can go anytime I want. And that sounds like stupid to say out loud. Like it sounds like chatterific, like I need a big old square jaw and like some sort of goofy like Chad beard.
Buy my supplements. I can go
right.
anytime I want.
100%. But it's just how I've lived my life, man. That my entire life I've just focused on being able to go now on anything, whether it's sprinting with my bike off of my driveway, whether it's whatever, anything. I don't think it should take a big long song and dance to be able to pull the trigger on something.
Yeah. I mean, you do that with podcasting all the time. Like,
do,
hey,
for
I
sure.
want to get a show set up. Would you mind? How about right now?
Right now.
Let's go.
That's right.
And I like that. I like that a lot. Dan C jumped in here. He said, people will only seek the knowledge that resonates with them. The interweb is full of experts, but the real experts are easily identifiable. And I'm going to push back on this a little bit, Dan C, because the experts are not easily identifiable,
not.
and rarely are they loud or boisterous or look at my stuff.
They're easy for Dan C to identify
Oh, yeah, for sure.
because he's been in the game.
Because he's been in the game. Yeah.
And he's got experience. He's got tenure, as who always drops the tenure term in the potty. It is Travis Denman.
Travis, yeah.
I wonder if that's a Green Beret term, you know, like I wonder if
think it
that's
is.
part of his speech.
No, I think
his
I've heard
figure
it
of
from a
speech.
number of Green Berets.
So have I. So I just wonder if it's a thing. Maybe next time he's on the potty, try to remember to ask him. But I think it's easy for Dan C to be able to identify it. And you know what? Interestingly enough, I'm curious on your opinion now, or maybe Dan C's got an opinion. I think it's kind of easy-ish. I'm not saying as easy as it is for Dan, but I think it's easy-ish for most people to be able to see what's for real. It's just that they want to look away from real because real usually is it's not as shiny. It's not like as bobbly. It's not as sexy sometimes. It's just freaking. You're looking hard work in the eye. You know.
So I'm digging it. Dan sees that I never thought of it that way. Yeah. And the thing that the closer you get to nature, the rougher things are.
Yeah, true.
Right. So I was thinking of trees. Like if I wanted, like the desk in front of me is made of wood, but it's been sanded down and it's been made safe and there's corners and there's edges that aren't sharp and there's no splinters. I'm not going to stab myself with anything. But the closer I get to its natural state, the rougher that becomes. And by doing that, most people don't like that natural, like an expert does things that look natural.
I see where you're going. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's where I'm going with that. Dan C jumped in and said, yes, it clashes with their ideology as well. Oh, that's true.
True.
because a lot of people want ease, they want comfort, they want smoothness rather than the hard parts of life.
Yeah, well, if we're talking trees and desks and all of that good stuff and how it's polished, etc., I'm like freaking, I'm bark, baby. I'm tree bark straight up.
That's what I was thinking. Yes, and that's a huge difference. Whereas most,
Yeah.
I think also most people have been raised in an environment. I say most people in Canada that I've seen that have been raised here feel this way, that like that the world should just be smooth, that the things, like everything should just go smoothly. We have all these systems in place. Why can't the stuff just happen the way it's supposed to happen? But they have no concept of the the naturalness of things, but also the amount of work that it takes to get something smooth, to get a rough dude like you, Shaun, all shined up, put in a suit, being able to engage in a separate process than what you're used to, let's say.
Yeah, agreed.
Like takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of sanding down, of roughing out edges, of making it smooth. But that takes
But
freaking time.
it does. And it also takes the will to, or the desire to, or the clarity to see that that's what has to happen. And I recognize that I've got a bit of an edge. I've been told that all my life. I think there's probably some truth to it. If I've been told it that long, then I probably do.
Probably.
And so, and you know, my wife says the same. It's not like I try to have an edge. I just naturally am. I am what I am, and that's not an excuse. I'm not like, that's not just a glib statement. Like I get to be what I am and not work on it. I freaking work on myself, but I do have an edge. I recognize, and so you know, what made me think about what I'm about to say is that you had referenced, for someone like me, you know, like to clean up and put on a suit. And, you know, it's an effort for me to polish up in the way that society wants, maybe as a corporate look.
Yes.
Corporate looks have never really interested me. I'm more of a whatever the heck I'm wearing, like accept, because what I'm bringing is game, not attire, not fashion. And so, but fashion does have its place. Attire does have its place. Being polished up does have its place. And that just happened to me just a couple of weeks ago. We'd lost our family doctor, and so we had to go down and get a new family doctor. Not in our own city. We had to go to another city, Trail. And we had to go to an interview, to be interviewed by the doctor to see if they were going to accept us. And before we went down there, my wife she'd warned me several times. And it was always the same advisory. When we go down there, I'm going to pick out your clothes and maybe like I should do most of the talking. And I was like, yeah, you're
gonna play
right.
nice. Yeah. Yeah.
You are right.
Yep.
And so I dressed up accordingly. Like I was polished up. I was professional. I didn't really interact too much because, like, I had questions.
I'm sure you did.
As I always do. And I only asked one. And so the one question I asked, like I was testing the water, and the answer that I got, I was like, oh, there'll be no more questions based on that response. And so the female doctor had an accent, and it sounded kind of like New Zealand, but with a bit of mix in there. And I said, oh, I really like your accent. Where are you from? Or where did you pick up your accent? And it was like the single sentence answer was quite short and not particularly joyful. And I was like, oh, great. I'm not gonna ask anything else. I'm gonna hold my thoughts to myself, and hopefully this improves over the future, but I'm not feeling it right now. And so, like, as much as you polish up sometimes, it just ain't enough sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And the reason I say polish up, the what kicked that in my mind was exactly what you're talking about. Not so much the look, because you can polish up a turd if you really want
Oh,
to,
for
right?
sure,
Like,
for sure, for sure.
but to be able to step into a corporate realm that politics reigns, and like the way the systems are built, you have to know that kind of stuff. It's a different mindset, different lifestyle than what you live. Same for me. it would not be easy for me to step into a corporate lifestyle. That would drive me absolutely livid. I couldn't do that at all.
Well, I would only do it if, and I've done it, and I'm comfortable in it if I
Mhm.
know I'm getting things done. But I got to feel like things are getting done. And like to get things done in that world, in the, I'll say generally speaking, the corporate world, the way that I like to get things done, the fiery pace, like big shifts each day, um, like it's pretty rare. It doesn't happen that often. And so to do it, you've kind of got to be a bit of a, like you got to be a thorn in a lot of people's sides. You've got to create friction in the corporate world for it to change. And, that's short lived. Like you can't build a career around being an agent of change as tree bark.
Mhm.
Because if you're putting a suit on tree bark, but the tree bark's like rubbing up against everyone every day, it just, that amount of friction just doesn't really work well in the polished forest.
Mhm.
And so, you know,
So here's my analogy at this point is that a tree, bark and all, like a live tree, something that is natural, has the ability to become basically anything. Once that thing is made into something like a desk or a table or something like that, and it's all polished up and it becomes very rigid, it's very hard to turn that into something else. And that amount of work, in order to be able to shift and slide between different things in our own lives, we can never really get that polished to, to make us really nice and smooth in any one area, because then we become rigid and static in that shape, in that
you know why I
mindset.
don't like it? Why I don't care for that lifestyle, to be honest, is using your analogy now,
Mm-hmm.
extending it even more to the ridiculous level, is if I'm stepping in and I've got to get turned into shiny, polished furniture, okay, now I'm a desk.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm a corporate desk. Great. Now what? I can't be anything else other than a freaking polished desk that actually a CEO is going to sit down on and spill his coffee mug on and put his arse on. And like, basically I'm just now, I'm barely functional furniture, but I'm locked into a trajectory that is, I'm now a table for the rest of my life.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a great allegory to basically anything. If you not just the corporate world, but the military is another great example, or athletics. If you start following that path so rigidly, so inured to the system, then you forget, you can't see the forest for the trees again. You're just a polished desk. You're going to be worked on. You, yeah, there's lots of things that can happen from there, but it's not a great place to be, at least in my mind. Some people, they dig it. Some people, that's their jam. I've never been that guy. I've never wanted that. Um, I guess maybe I've never wanted that level of stability, because I think that's a part of the attraction for some people, is that it becomes consistent enough that you know exactly what's going to happen over the next 20 years. You're going to do this, 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 and this. And this is going to be my trajectory. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, but that's safe play. And I
Yeah.
get it. It's a safe play. It's playing it safe is the
Mm-hmm.
term. Playing it safe like that kind of locks you into a pattern of non evolution where it's now Groundhog Day. You get 5 days a week where you have to earn money to support the family. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other 2 days are chores and painting a wall that got a hole in it and all this stuff. And so wash and repeat week after month after year after decade. And all of a sudden, you are what you are. You kind of gave it all away to just play the safe game. And I'm not saying that the corporate world is evil or no one should enter into the safe corporate space, but I am saying that if you are in that world, then you've got to find a way to deviate from the safe path that you self-selected. I mean, if you selected the safe job, then select an unsafe life or an unsafe hobby or a or a something that is unknown to you, unguaranteed, which makes you feel like this probably won't work out. When I say unsafe, I mean like not guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, But I don't think that happens either. I think the corporate lifestyle, the safe choice, the 30-year career that you can already see written on the wall on day one, that doesn't get shored up by anything that lets you be passionately curious in life to kind of fill in the gaps of your soul, you know?
So I got two thoughts on this. And the first one being, I wonder how much of this plays out, this corporate lifestyle, the mindset of the consistency and pattern. Do you think it was bred out of two world wars that was absolute inconsistency for almost 40 years of the first of 1900s, right? Like you have all of the bad things happen early in the decade or early in the century, and then everyone's just like, okay, no, let's just stop. Everybody calm down. We're just going to do our jobs. Everybody just do your job and let things be okay. Let things be static for a little while. Because I mean, if you think about the 50s in the US and the American dream of the white picket fence and the 2.4 kids and the car and the 30-year job and the pension and then retirement, that is the most consistent thing you can do coming out of the most inconsistent thing you can do, which is war, right? It is irreliable to be able to say anything that is going to happen in war because it's war. Whereas afterwards in the 50s, like, you know exactly what you're going to do. You're going to go to school, you're going to get a job, you're going to have
think about it. Think about it. How did they know what they were going to do?
Well, they had context of what they didn't want to do.
Mm-mm.
No? What do you got then?
Who told them what they were going to do?
All the people that didn't go to war.
Yeah. So, let's band together and rebuild the country.
Mm-hmm.
Let's band together. Let's support our ... so we can build our country into ...
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't a bunch of farmers in Saskatchewan that had just come out of the war and sitting around drinking coffee thinking like, let's really focus up on creating corporate stability. Like, that wasn't happening.
Yeah.
That was not happening. We came out of the wars, and at a high level, people started deciding that the general population as a whole was going to start rebuilding things to save our country, to make our country stronger, to save the world, to ... And so a lot of the proposed changes coming out of the war were driven from a top-down view to let's rally together, and this is what we need to do as a generation.
Mm.
And that's what happened. We started rebuilding as a country. We started ... And it was, generally speaking, under the banner of let's make Canada great, or let's make Canada strong, or let's move into the future as a country, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But, those words then versus those words now are radically different.
They are. And I think their meaning is different as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how much of this has to do with the fact that, well, I mean, individualism has been on the rise for quite a while, but I think that a lot of that stems from our capacity to not require the community. Like, we can get by perfectly fine on our own. Well, with
in the spirit of things, you're right.
Yeah. But because most people don't have the context, they don't know what it's like on the other side of that. They don't truly grasp, perhaps, the full context of what it takes to have what they have. Because I know I didn't for many
years. They don't
years.
need to. No one needs to. Because they got what they got.
Because they got what they got, yeah. That's a good point. Then I guess becomes solely an intrinsic motivation to do anything.
Yeah, to some degree, but that can be nudged or pushed or actually velocitized by the right people around you stepping up and encouraging you to get with the program, your program, the program, our program, a program, whatever that is, whatever that means to someone out there, it doesn't mean like listening to or following anything that goes on over here on the collective. It just means getting involved in something that is a program, your own program that you're engaged in, that is kind of who you are, not what you're told to be. And so I say that very carefully because, uh, you know, decades ago, Canada as a whole was told to be something, and that's still occurring today.
Yeah.
Like, we're still hearing it, but back then it was kind of being, people were marching to that beat, were following that drum, but that's not the case anymore today as compared to then. There's far less interest in following a communal beat to the drum.
Yeah.
And so, I think that's obviously part of the issue right now.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting too because a national identity is something that is individually forged, which is quite interesting. And I mean, we did the show a while back on.
Well, it is, but it's also communally forged.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's what I was getting at was the
All
fact
right.
that we're like when we did the show a little while ago on mandatory service, right? Or the conscription, or if that was national service was a important thing to do. And I mean, all of us came up with the fact that, the military is one of the greatest ways to see the rest of your country because you meet people from
And the
all
world.
over the place.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And that, I think that's a lot of it is that we don't have to go anywhere. I know lots of people that were born and raised and have lived their whole lives in the same town. And they've like flown to New York or they've flown somewhere else and they've done the touristy thing and then they've come home, but they've never really left. They've never lived anywhere else, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And those people are usually the most strongly opinionated people that I meet. Whereas most people have been around those places.
It's usually the, I'm not picking on Calgary. It was the first thing that came to mind. I mean, I was a Calgarian myself. And what I would see at the time, this is going back, about 20 years ago or so.
Yeah.
Someone from Calgary would fly to Mexico and then come back and talk about how they saw the world. And I would say, congratulations, you went to a hot Calgary. And so just because it's tacos instead of steaks doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're understanding a culture. Like, what you did do was you went and sat next to a hot swimming pool for an entire week and ate at a buffet. That doesn't mean that you understand what it means to live in a third world country in Africa. It just means you understand a hot swimming pool that could have been in Calgary. And so there's a big difference between traveling the world and curiously observing humanity versus going on a hot Calgary vacation with Mai Tais.
Yeah. My wife and I went on a trip to Vancouver early on when we were dating. I think if I remember correctly, I proposed to her in the ocean at that point at the thing. It's pretty cool. But the
Dude,
best
when you
trip,
say, if I recall correctly, let me give you the opportunity to retract that, and you can rethink that statement again, just in case you decide to clippy McClip that.
I'm not going to clippy McClip that one statement, but because it's not smart to do. And,
It's not.
But Amber and I were talking about the reason I say, if I remember correctly, is we were talking about this. We took 2 trips to Mexico, and I can't remember which one we were on because we did kind of the same thing. Anyway,
Okay, check.
The point was one of the trips we went on, one of the little excursions we went on. It was the sketchiest setup. It was one of those things that we thought we were going to get kidnapped along the way. The person that gave us the tip was one of the locals, one of the taxi driver that took us to the resort was like, oh yeah, they got this like a dune buggy little exhibit. I thought it was like a go-kart, like, yay, we're gonna go drive go-karts around a little track and huzzah. No, these were full-scale dune buggies, 4-speed manual transmission. Steering wheel was like maybe this big, like it was sketchy. But they drove us out into the countryside. They drove us up through one of the rivers. Eventually went and stopped at a little tequila factory, like a little local mom and pop tequila factory. Learned all about that. Stopped at this little side of the road restaurant, greasy spoon kind of thing at a gas station. The best tacos I've ever had in my life. Did not get sick. eating local food, had a blast, had a great trip, and then we went to another place, and it was one of the touristy places, and we got sick from eating that food immediately. And so it was
Perfect.
yeah, and it was one of those moments. But to your point, it was a local that pointed us there. It was a local group that took us on that the drive, and they took us out to a spot that they knew. It wasn't like a a pre-programmed A to B, follow the
That
yellow
is the
umbrella.
way. That is the
It
best
really
way.
is. Yeah.
It's the only way, as far as I'm concerned. Everything else is artificial or is contrived or is just kind of is lame.
Yeah.
That is the way.
One of the funny parts about it was the
Just give me a sec. There's someone at my door.
Raj. I'm just gonna drop him out here for a second. I do love every so often for the people that are watching still. Shaun every so often has to just dip out. It's great. I love it. Dancy, if you're still here, I do want to hear your thoughts. I got your comment here. Hit us up when you get a chance. It's a good time. I'm sure Shaun's just getting an Amazon package or something like that. Or it could be a bear. Perhaps it's another bear that's
Sorry.
at the door. Did they knock this time or?
They did. Yeah, it's the Purelator guy, and it's a new Purelator guy. He's been doing the job for about half a year or whatever. But we've got a little pattern. He knows me, I know him, and like we give each other a nod and a smile and all that good stuff. But when he comes and knocks on the door politely, I know it's something that I really have to sign for. So normally he'll just drop it down on the front porch, but he's a good kid and I like him, so I thought I'd.
You got to get yourself a little on-air sign for the door, so they know when you're recording.
But with the button that stays on, not
The button
just
stays on,
a
exactly.
brief flash.
Yeah, that's all I can do. Dan C. jumped in here. He said, our lives are the sum total of our experiences. 35 years ago, my career began at the bottom. I always wanted to be challenged. When I didn't feel it, I moved on. Stagnancy is an evolution. That's great. Yeah, 100%. I actually had a conversation with my boys, or sorry, not my boys, Kinley specifically, my youngest, about fitness and evolution and like what that really means. How do you fit into this particular environment? And turned into a really neat conversation
Combo.
between him and I. And
Nice.
he was asking good questions, and then I dropped him off at school and was like, "Have a good day, buddy." And off I went. But
So what came out of it that is tangible?
he came up with the fact that the best way to get into an environment was to observe it first, so that he could understand what the rules were, how the game played, what were the things to
good.
do.
Yeah,
And I
game
was like,
set rules. Yeah,
yes, that was a good observation, buddy. But it started because we were talking about evolution, and he was talking about it as a like a Pokemon evolution. So it was like magical. All of a sudden, bang! You have new powers. You have new abilities. And I was like, that's not quite how this works.
yeah.
And so we started talking about what evolution was and how it works, and how over time the fittest thing in that environment will slowly evolve into the most fittest it can be for that environment, and then move from there.
And like, of course, you might not have had time to build it out, but as that organism, that Pokemon card or whatever, is adapting to the environment, is evolving, typically its evolution evolves everything around it, even if it's inter or intra species or inter or intra Pokemon card. And so the game itself evolves if you allow it enough time. And so, but the other aspect that you may or may not have thrown at him, of course, it's a drive to school, so you can't induce all the world's wisdom in one drive. But the aspect being that, he'd said, observe the game to understand the game set rules or the game theory or the chaos theory or whatever he's trying to understand in the moment, that observational phase, which is great. But it needs to be said in the conversation, though you didn't have time, I'm sure, that you do need to do that, but for the right amount of time. Not too short and not too long and not forever. And so there's tons of people who get the I'm just going to watch for a little while so wrong that you almost need to throw in that throwaway sentence, even though you're never going to get the time to have the conversation on the way to school, of it is good to watch the game, but never too long. you know?
Yeah. I don't think I put it that way. Looking back on it was a couple of days ago, and I remember saying as we went in, as I was dropping off, I was giving him a hug and like, all right, man, have a good day. Was, yeah, you need to watch and then act, is what I said. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah. And
That's fair. That's fair.
and
But
one of the
I would
things,
clean that language up just a
for
touch.
sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, going back, I would have liked to have built that out a little bit more.
But you still can. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Bring it back up and re-engage that for sure. One of the things,
Hey,
Kinley's
by the
been
way,
struggling-
sorry.
Yeah.
This will be a good lesson for your son and for you, of course. But you could, when you bring it up, you can bring it up in a way of showing like some humility, as it were, by introducing the idea as such. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about it this morning, and I failed to add in a critical sentence about, yeah, it's a good idea to pay attention to these kind of things, but not too long. And by not too long, I want to explain a couple of things to you, but what are your thoughts on that? And then have him own the idea. You know, he might flesh it out to a degree, but then, of course, you're going to come in like the Power Ranger that you are and like freaking fill in all the gaps and, you know, whoopah, there you go. And so I'd come at it from and I'm not talking this is a strategy or tactic or whatever. This is not contrived or fake-a-roni. I'm just saying as a good dad, you can like bring up you know what I kind of failed to do? I should have explained this part to you. It's really important. And then, you know, do it however you want. But I'd suggest raising that up.
No, that's a good point. And I will. I'll talk to him today when he gets home. We got, I got to go pick him up later. Actually, we're going to get our chiropractic movement in today as soon as we're done here. So that'll be nice. But the,
Crickety crack.
yes, and I need it. I'm all jacked up. My back is not having.
Dude, you've never had a good back.
No.
Since I met you.
It's from all the bending over I got to do.
It ain't. It's just weakness.
General weakness. The fun part is I've been having these conversations with both my boys when as they move between jujitsu and I'm dropping them off between their classes and so on and so forth. I get a nice little like 10 to 15 minutes.
That's good.
Single in the car with them.
Yeah, it's important.
And Kinley brought up something interesting as well just recently. I don't know how we got on the conversation, but he was talking about things being finite. And I was like, okay, well, what do you think about that? What does that mean to you? And he's like, well, that they end. And I was like, they end? What do you mean by that? And he goes, well, everything ends. And I was like, yes, everything does end. How do you apply that? What does that mean? And then he looked at me and he's like, oh, I don't know.
I don't know, homework? Ice
And I
cream
was like-
sundaes?
So I was like, well, everything ends. So like when you do something and it's super fun, that eventually ends. And when you do something kind of crummy, that also eventually ends. And when you are sad, that eventually ends. When you're afraid, that can end as well. Like everything has that finite edge. And if you just seek it out, then you can do something new. And he's been struggling with anxiety lately. He lets things ruminate in his head and then locks up. And so we worked on that one on the way to jiu-jitsu again, just like, hey, man, you hit those moments? No, that'll end. Just breathe, sit, allow the emotions to do what they're doing for a second, breathe, and then, again, act, move into the next thing. And then they end. And then, and again, another great conversation with the kids. But I love these little moments of one-on-one, just chatting, seeing what comes up. And
now he's too young.
it.
He's too young to understand this aspect of that conversation that I'm going to add right now. When you say, you know, everything comes to an end, it doesn't. Nothing ends. It doesn't. You framed it up through emotions, but the emotion doesn't end. It turns into something else. And the moment doesn't end. It evolves into something else. And life doesn't end. The energy doesn't dissipate. It just changes into a different form. And so, like at a conceptual level, a philosophical level, a metaphysical level, a higher level, nothing ends.
True.
Energy remains energy. And
Yeah,
so I know he's too young to consider this, but you know, for you as an adult thinking about that, you've got to wait for the time to be able to introduce the idea of, you know, when you're sad, it ends. Well, when he's a bit older, you can say, well, when you're sad, it kind of ends, but it doesn't. What you do is you allow it to change into something else, or you make it change into something else,
Hmm.
because sadness never ends. It just simply shifts into something else, and it may reappear in the future. But it's your job to understand that all of these things are malleable, are impermanent, and that you and the universe is shaping it simultaneously. Once you understand that nothing ends, then you can allow yourself to unfold. But he's
Yeah.
too young to understand all of that, of course.
Yeah, I think if I tried to explain that to
Yeah,
him, he would be
I'm
like,
not suggesting that. But, you know,
but
like,
later on, for sure. Yeah.
and that's a thought for you as well.
Hmm.
Because the idea that I just threw out is something that you understand, but you probably haven't spent weeks thinking about.
True.
And so if you haven't spent a long time thinking about it, how do you explain it to him clearly?
Hmm.
Because you don't have a grasp on it yourself per se. And so I've thought about it a lot. And that's why I can have this conversation in a bunch of different ways with a bunch of different people. Doesn't mean I ever do it right in
Hmm.
the moment, in the conversation. It just means that I can do it a bunch of different ways. And that's what you have to do, is think about it deeply and longly enough that you can take this topic and do it a bunch of different ways with 1,000 suns, as it were.
Mm. Interesting. I am going to think about this a little more because my first thoughts take me down totally different realms
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
good.
So,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
interesting
Good.
because it depends, I guess, really what level you look at it because lots of things end, but also, as you say, they also continue in other
They do.
realms and other
Yeah.
things. So,
My
it,
my my lineage, like me explaining that to you is the same as me explaining it to my sons. And as I've explained it to them, I've explained it to 1,000 years from now, sons. Like my generation will pass on the information to 30 generations from now
it
through
might.
thoughtful conversation. It will. If my sons, as I believe they have, if they've picked up what I've put down and they've repeated back to me that they have picked up what I've put down, that they know their job, as I've said it on this podcast before, my job is not to raise my boys. My job is to teach my boys to be able to raise their boys.
Hmm.
And so, like, my wife and I have done a pretty good job with our kids, but I'm more interested in our kids being able to do a better job with their kids. And so, like, I'm looking generations into the future. And so, as every man should.
The fun part about it is that I'm taking it from a different realm in that I know that your line could end though.
For sure.
And so
That doesn't
yes,
change the fact that I'm
doesn't
still
change
going to do
that,
my
yes,
best
you're
damn
gonna
job.
exactly. That's the key is to put the work in so that they have the opportunity to follow that line if they so choose.
Yeah, and I'll sleep well at night knowing that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, which is set up 30 generations from now. You know what I'm saying?
Which goes back to our other topic that we hit today, which was that's how the national identity is built, as we all try to set up the
That's
next
right.
generation. Unfortunately, that's not what's going on right now. So,
Hey, do you know what? I know we're coming up on the end of the show,
Yeah.
but today is World Suicide Prevention Day, I believe.
is it? I did
I
not
think
know
so.
that.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been there's been a
I've seen
number
things
of
popping up on my IG post today, and I believe it is September 10th. I believe is the
Okay.
day, and I don't know the correct terminology on the day, whether it's World Suicide Prevention Day or whether it's World Suicide Awareness Day. I'm not sure. It's probably got an official title here in North America, but if you find the title, let me know.
well, I will look it up right now and see if I can find it. The
But I guess my point is we're at the end of the show and there's nothing really that we can do to touch on the topic, of course, because it's such a big subject and such a powerful subject. We have, of course, talked about it in the past. We've
Yes.
covered these subjects a number of times, and so it's not for lack of exposing the topic at hand. But I don't know. It feels like need to do something today that brings a little bit more awareness to the day, as it were.
Yes. September 10th is World Suicide Prevention Day.
Prevention Day, okay.
There we go. And that is World Suicide Prevention Day is observed annually on 10 September to raise global awareness about suicide prevention, reduce stigma, and promote understanding of suicidal behavior. So that is definitely critical. We should do something for sure. And Dan C says it can never be talked about enough.
Yeah,
I
that's true.
agree.
Yeah.
Well, then let's do this as a final thought. What are your thoughts on suicide prevention in general?
Well, I think today versus, and I haven't given it a bunch of thought this morning, as I said, because I haven't really relayed any thoughts out to the interwebs today yet about it. But if I look at it right now versus a year ago, I feel like a year ago we were making more of an effort to get more awareness out there, and 2 years ago, same. I mean, when we did September, a full month of
June, Men's Mental
men's.
Health Month.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. I mean, that was bonkers. And so maybe we went a bit too hard in that first year. I told you to dial it back, but you wouldn't listen.
I don't think
So,
you've ever told me to dial anything back.
so maybe this year we didn't. I don't want to say we took it a bit too casual on these kind of topics, but it feels like maybe we weren't hyper focused on sort of the hot topic conversations each month. I don't know. Feels like we've let it slip a bit.
We weren't. I specifically did that on purpose, actually. The topics that I selected were side topics to it more than anything. And the reason I did that, there was a ton, at least I was seeing it on social media, there was a ton of people talking about it. There was lots of effort to raise awareness about it across the board that I was seeing across social media. And I think we have a lot of weight. I can't say a lot of weight, but I think we have weight with the people of the collective. And sometimes it's good to talk about it. And I think sometimes it's also good to talk about some of the other topics around it, because we can sit here and say, suicide is bad. And it is.
For sure.
But if we say that every day for the next 20 years, we become another million, one voice in the crowd saying the same thing. Yeah. Exactly. Versus let's talk about the world. Let's talk about how to do it better. The fact that we did to be or not to be on Friday was really enjoyable, because I find that it's an ancillary topic, right?
It is tangential, for sure.
That's what we should, and in my mind, that's what I thought we should be doing, is hitting at those.
I suppose maybe what I'm hearing from you, and is maybe the most important aspect of what you just said, is that we're trying. And this year is different than last year, and I haven't given it that much thought this year as compared to the previous 2 years, but I do recognize that we cloverleaf the topic on a pretty regular basis through our tangential conversations. So it's not that I feel bad. I don't feel like we're letting anyone down. That's not my point. I just recognize that today is a titled day, and that I'll probably have to think about what I'm going to put up today in respect to that. Whether it'll be pointed or whether it'll be vague, I don't know.
But it will be in slow motion, whatever it is.
It is in slow motion. And you know what? So here, honestly, this is my dilemma. This is what I've had in my head for about 10 minutes now. So today, what I was going to do, and I came to this sort of conclusion yesterday as I kind of consider what I'm doing on social media in respect to the slow motion bag stuff, is like I can use my AIs, my robots, to analyze physics. So it has known dimensions, it has known things. It can, because I'm using the 240 frames per second, it can densely analyze speed. Each frame of the camera at 240 frames per second resembles 4 milliseconds. So I can assign timelines to the 4 millisecond timeline. So when I do a spinning back kick in 641 milliseconds, it might be 630 whatever, it might be 640 whatever plus. So 4 millisecond difference. So I'm precise in my physics, in my times, in my striking force, in all of these things. And so the reason that I've become precise now is because I want people to understand what you can do in your 60s. Like you can do redonkulous things in half a second. But what I don't want people to misunderstand or to feel like I'm putting across as an idea is I'm not a freaking professional mixed martial artist. So yesterday I thought I should probably make tomorrow's clip about how would I fare against a professional MMA fighter? And then as the video unfolds, about 10, 15 seconds in, I would just put up the words, I'd get my ass kicked, or I would be smoked, or it would be demoralizing, or whatever. Because I don't want anyone out there to believe that whatever I can do with 40 years of martial arts is enough to like clean the planet at my whim. And so I want to give some context to I do all right for an old dude, but I don't want to get in the ring with a professional mixed martial artist unless I got to save the planet, you know?
Well, and to your point, what are you doing professionally? I mean, you ask me this
Podcasting.
regularly right now. Well, that's it. Your mindset.
I'm
Professionally
not training to
podcasting.
beat MMA guys.
Exactly. You're not looking at UFC. You're not trying to do that. That's not
Correct.
your game.
My
Similarly,
game has been the game that it's always been for decades.
Yeah.
And it's the game that I play every day for sure.
that's your game. Now, the interesting part about this is that with World Suicide Prevention Day is that we are also not doctors. Right? We're not professional psychologists. That's not our job. That's not our game. Our game is to have these conversations, bring these things up. And when somebody says, hey, did you know it's World Suicide Prevention Day? And somebody goes, no. Well, okay, now it's on us to go, hey, we should probably do something.
Yeah.
And then engage that, take action, right? Versus feeling obligated. Oh, I have to get something out because it's this day coming up and I have to. I actually quite like the fight, like the fact that it's a it's an authentic thought process, authentic pattern of like, hey man, this happened. Oh, dang, we should probably do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Done.
You're
That's
right.
good.
Yeah.
So I think we're all right. And we're going to do a show on suicide as well. I'm getting that set up with Nick Felber.
Oh, good.
And I'm just trying to find the right crew of dudes to get on that because it's tough.
Frickin' Nick.
Yeah.
Old Fury. He dropped me a line, I don't know, a week and change ago, and he wanted to hop into a video chat, a little private chat about whatever. And I said, yeah, let's frickin' do it. And then we never got it together. And so I didn't follow up on that, and I should have. So I hope things are good with Nicky Boy, but I'm stoked to hear that he's coming on the show on a strong subject.
Yeah. I'm digging that he was one of the ones that wanted to set it up. So I'm
Fantastic.
absolutely in and good to go.
Well, maybe that's what he wanted to talk about was the topic at hand. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm glad to hear he's coming back on the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got that win just recently too. Just knocked that dude out like
Dude.
pretty solid. I would not want to take one of those shots. That was
Yeah.
got a quick comment from Fight Club Reppin. You guys did more good than every professional for suicide prevention. So, well, I'm glad that we could help. That's awesome. And then Dan C.
And
jumped in
good to
here.
hear from you, by the way, pal.
Yeah. Absolutely. We haven't seen you in a while. And he looks like I missed it. He gave us a little shocker earlier.
Oh, okay, right on. A little bit of
I didn't see
shackage.
that one. Dan C. did jump in here. He said, learn from survivors. Outlooks on life radically changed.
Yeah,
that
is so
across the
true.
board. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I remember this is a number of years ago. I read a story about a guy who jumped off of the Golden Gate Bridge, and he survived. And the one thing he said was that the moment his foot left the bridge, he knew he did it was like
for sure.
crap. I've done this wrong, and
Read it so many times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this another one.
I mean, we've got guys in our community
Yes.
that I'm thinking of right now that have said word for word exactly that.
That is, too many, unfortunately, but good that those lessons are getting out there. Fight Club Reppin jumped in as well on the Instagram side, said, I feel like they are more about med prescription type of help. They poorly address the problem. Conversation like this is a better way to deal with it. I think so as well. I think
so.
more people I guess let me rephrase this. More people need to seek out this conversation to have for themselves and the people around them, rather than more people just need to be talking. And I think
Yeah,
that's what we're seeing a lot, is just talking.
I think how I would like to tweak what you just said is,
Tweak away. That needs
yeah.
some
So
refinement.
I think we aren't prescribing anything. We're just talking about things that have worked for us or friends or whatever the case is. And I mean, we're currently not building out the topic at hand, suicide. We're not building out into all the various modalities and things that we know can make a difference. But what we are doing right now is we're talking about it, and we're not trying to ram it down anyone's throat
Yes.
while making you sign a membership for anything or buy a t-shirt. We're just talking, and we have ideas about all the things we've seen and heard. And if someone resonates with it and it helps them, then good. But in the meantime, I'm not going to cram anything down anyone's throat that I learned in a half-day long course with a certificate on my back wall. We are just talking about our own life experiences and what we have found to be helpful for others.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I love the show, the way it's turned out. And like, do you remember day one?
Dude, I try to forget day one.
But like the concept of ops at that point in time was very different than what it is now. And it has turned into something that is, I think, viable for a great number of people that is finding it quite helpful just to be able to have these conversations.
Because we're flexible, we're malleable. We never locked into the pattern that we wanted to make it. What we did do was try to lock into the collective's pattern. What we are right now is a result of what the collective wanted, not what we wanted. And so, yeah, day one was bonkerific, but it did put us here for sure.
Yeah. Similarly, you came up with the suggestion, and I'll shut her down from there. I know we just love to chat. This is one of our issues, but you had brought up the idea of doing a comparison between the clips that I used to make versus the clips that I make now.
Yeah.
And the last couple that I've made in a row, I've quite enjoyed. I've really liked how they turned out, and a lot of the new transitions that I'm playing with and all that good stuff. But I went back and looked at a couple, and I don't think I made it through the whole clip. It was like 45 seconds. I was like, oh,
It's tough, eh?
nope.
It's hard to listen to some of the dumb things we said, some of the
Yep.
dumb things we did, some of the. I mean, we've done some dumb things, man. But it wasn't because we were trying to be dumb. We were just trying things. We were like trying to figure it out. We were trying to get to here.
Yep.
Here we are today.
Here we are.
And you know what? I'm trying to get to where we are a year from now. And I don't know what that looks like either. I don't even know what I'll do tomorrow to get us to a year from now, nor do you. But we both will. We will. We'll both do something that'll get us to a year from now. So
For sure. Well, season 4 of the collective is going to be pretty interesting.
it's
Season 4.
ridiculous.
I
I
mean,
want to swear
technically-
out loud how ridiculous that is. You know?
So technically, I have us. The way I've listed it, we're actually in season 14. So
What is even going on right now?
So
Start making up
initially-
numbers.
because we did every day for a year, I broke every month into a season. So we have 12 seasons in the first year, and then in the second year we had
Survivor, episode 1 million.
and then for season 2 was all of the second year, where we were down to I think we did 50 shows that year,
Yeah.
and
about
then
that.
this year again, same deal. We're going to be 50, 52, something like that.
Yeah, right.
And that's what I'm going to keep the seasons going at. So now we had season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
You're starting the season on Jan 1, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Check.
Yep. And then that'll,
just
that'll
seems
be
like-
season 4.
How the hell are we going to get to season 4? I cannot believe that we survived season 1, quite frankly.
The first 30
Without
days was a
body
challenge, let alone
We didn't even have body armor.
not a single helmet was to be
Not
had.
even, not even a skull cap.
Nope. None
I mean,
whatsoever.
how good were those old school skull caps, though?
Oh, those are nice.
Hey?
Those were nice. But no more. The and honestly, I think the only show we ever really did that had anything to do with military, specifically military stuff, was the CQB episode, and episode
Oh, yeah, right.
way back when.
I probably didn't make any friends on that one, by the way, Because
like me, I
you
thought
know,
it was
some of the
great.
videos that you put up, I don't even know. Like, I didn't even know the groups. I think
Yeah.
GBRS was maybe one of them. Were they? Or
No,
no?
no,
Okay, good.
no, not at the point.
I don't want to like. I don't want to like chirp at a squared away crew. I don't even know the videos that you put up, and they could have been the best in the world. But what I see is what I see, and I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and it's not to be mean spirited. It's just to call out things that invokes thought in others, and I could be completely wrong. More often than not, I am. But I'll try to take the conversation in a direction that we all learn something from it. So, you know, the CQB thing is, I'm not out there trying to coachy McCoach. I ain't. Same with the bag, same with a bunch of things in life. I've just got a critical eye. Doesn't mean that I'm the best in the world, but I do have a critical eye. And I see things that maybe some others don't. So I'm always going to call it out.
The ability to process that is what makes a good CQB artist.
That's true.
It's the ability to process makes you a good martial artist. The ability to, when somebody else says, "Hey, man, you didn't take up your corner in this particular moment," and you go, "Yep, you're right, I didn't." That's going to turn you into a better CQB person.
That's true.
Down the line, right? So I think this is good. You need people with critical eyes in your life to be able to
Agreed.
check you.
Speaking
and then you
of
go,
critical eyes, you said on Friday's show it's Randy Turner and Arch, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So have you thought a little bit more about the topic for those guys?
So I spoke to Arj actually,
Okay.
and he set us up. He gave us one of curiosity as a topic, which would be
That's
really
a great
interesting.
topic. It's
So
one of my
we'll-
favorites.
I haven't heard back from Randy yet, but
Okay.
we'll see. I don't want to get too deep into it because I want people to come watch the show. So
Yeah.
we can
No,
we can
but
talk
they're
offline
great
about the rest
guys,
of this.
and that is a great topic, and I'm already stoked for it.
Who knows? We'll see what happens. But
I'm curious.
yeah, that'll be a good one. Other than that, I got nothing. Any
Can't
last
believe
thoughts?
I threw that out, and it's just like that was so wasted.
We could take this another 2 hours. Trust me.
That's true.
But we're not gonna. We're gonna
we're
have to shut it down. Any final thoughts? Anything
We
at all?
won't be that curious. Okay.
I'll be curious later.
Let's be curious on Friday.
I got my curiosity set up for later. Other than that, I got nothing. So as we all continue to learn, build, grow, we'll see y'all next week.
Gmo.
Thanks everybody for watching and being part of the collective. If this has sparked any thoughts or resonated with you, let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us grow and keeps the conversation going. We'll see y'all next time.